Ahead and we're going to get started with this tonight. If you joined us just now, again, welcome as we kick off our 2023 summer camp for Camp Frontier. We're really excited this year. We've got a lot of great people on the panel tonight to talk to you and share all the exciting things that we're doing for summer camp this summer. My name is Steve Porter. I'm the program support director out here at PSR. First thing I wanted to do is just get you acclimated really quick. I know everyone's been using Zoom for forever, so I'm not going to bore you to death, but we are doing it in webinar format tonight. So if you've noticed that you don't have a video or you don't have your microphone, that's on purpose, but we do want to be able to have an opportunity for you to ask questions. So you have a Q&A box on your toolbar. Feel free to use that, type in questions throughout the night. We're going to watch that, answer all the questions that go into that box. So please use that if you have any questions throughout the evening. Also, a lot of our slides have QR codes. You saw we had a QR code up for our leader's guide. We're going to have some QR codes for different things. So if you do have a smartphone next to you and handy, keep that close and you'll be able to scan the screen and take a look at some of the stuff we're talking about and get more details. And then what I really would like to do before we get into the major introductions is we have a special guest on our panel tonight, our Scout Executive, Ed Caldwell. So I did want to give him an opportunity to share a message with all the troops this year coming out to camp. So without further ado, Ed, take it away.
Thank you, Steve. As Steve said, my name is Ed Caldwell. I'm the Scout Executive for Erie Shores Council. First and foremost, thank you so much for attending tonight. I know the staff has a lot of information for you to digest this evening. Take good notes, ask questions, and after tonight's meeting, obviously, Steve and Chuck and Van are always available at camp with Beth to answer questions that you might have about your summer camp experience coming up. On behalf of Erie Shores Council and the Camp Frontier staff and the executive board and myself, we really appreciate and thank you for picking Camp Frontier as your destination for your summer camp opportunity this summer. I know the staff has been working hard in many ways. I mean, planning and organizing and trying to figure out new things that would be fun and adventuresome for your scouts and for you as adults. So we're really looking forward to your participation this summer, and we know that you're going to have a great summer. The most important thing, though, that I think is really important is if you've got questions, you're doing this planning, you're selecting merit badges for your scouts, you're getting ready for the arrival date of when you're going to come to camp. I don't want to have this sound like that it's not important, but one thing that is extremely important in my mind is the time that you take as leaders to come to camp with your youngsters. And I look at that as kind of a partnership between our staff and you and what you're doing to prepare your scouts to come to camp. I mean, I don't think the moms and dads really understand the time you put in to work with our team and to prepare for your week at camp. I mean, there's merit badges, there's meal plans, there's all those sort of things and details. So I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, we really appreciate the time that you put in as scout leaders to prepare for a great summer with your scouts and with your troop. I know our staff is excited to have you there this summer, and they're looking forward to those opportunities to change lives and create memories. And again, thank you so much for picking Camp Frontier. We're excited to have you, and we're looking forward to seeing you this summer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ed. And we are really excited for this summer this year. We've got a great team of people. We got a lot of returning staff. We've got a lot of new staff who have a ton of different talents and things available. So this summer is going to be a blast, just like any other. Moving on, as we continue to go through the presentation tonight, I did want to take an opportunity to name a few names and introduce some of the people that we have on the panel tonight. So tonight joining us, we have Chuck Walker, our Director of Support Services, myself, Steve Porter, our Program Support Director here, Van Anderson, our Camp Director, who's online tonight as well. I think we just saw Aaron Collins pop in as well. Aaron will be joining us as an Assistant Camp Director this year. Not new to scouting, but new to PSR, and we're really excited to have some of his ideas and talents on board this year. Also, not on the call tonight, but who will be joining us during some of our setup and planning and for a few weeks of summer camp as well, Brian Backer, He worked on our staff a number of years ago and is returning to us to provide some assistance as well in an assistant camp director position. So we're really excited to have Brian back. Not necessarily, so Beth's on the call tonight as well. Beth is not a new face at all. I'm sure you've seen Beth around camp a million times. She is joining us though this year as our program director. So we're super excited to be having her on board as our program director this year. And she's got a lot of great ideas that she'll be sharing with us. Also returning, but not necessarily on this panelist call tonight, is Jeff Smarkle, our camp commissioner. So we're excited to have him back as well. I did want to take a real quick moment to put up one more poll just for fun. And I wanted to get an idea of what you were hoping to learn tonight in our presentation. So what do you hope to find out about camp? Maybe it's what's new, maybe it's about merit badges, payment, camp staff stuff, and website stuff, registration. We've got a couple different options on there, so let us know. And I'll leave that up for the next couple seconds, and we'll take it down and take a look. All right. So we've almost got everybody's answers in. It looks like who's going to answer. I'll leave it up for a couple more seconds. All right, and let's take a look and see what we got. So it looks like most people are excited to figure out what's new at camp this summer. Well, we're definitely going to talk about that tonight. We're actually going to talk about all of these things tonight, but I was very curious to see, what you're tuning in for and what you're looking at. So it's good to know that everyone's interested in what's new at camp. We've got a lot of great stuff. We're also going to talk a lot about merit badges, registration, website, all that good stuff. So moving on, I do want to turn it over to our camp director, Van Anderson, and our director of support services, Chuck Walker. Just kidding, I'm skipping. I do want to talk to you really quickly before I turn it over to them about our open house event this year. So this year we have a brand new event, and I was so excited about it that I forgot it. So we're doing an open house this year, and we've never done one of these before. We're planning it in the spring. And we want to give an opportunity for Scouts BSA, not only them, but also Cub Scouts to come out with their parents, their families, anybody who wants to just come out to camp and see camp on a Saturday in April. And I've already got it planned out. The weather's going to be beautiful, I can already tell. But we want to get you guys out to camp and do a few things. We want to share some information about our summer programs. We also want to share some information about our year-round programs. So we're working on a schedule right now. We're going to have some Q&A sessions where you can sit in with a bunch of other people, either Scouts BSA or Cub Scouts, whatever, and get some more information about those programs like our Arrow of Light summer program, our Scouts BSA summer program, but also find out more information about what you can do at camp year round. We've got cabin rentals, camping year round, different activities and events and things that you can do out at camp, not just during our summer camp time. So we're going to have some sessions on that scheduled to come. We're also planning on having some activities. So we'd like to have the shooting sports open, maybe some climbing opportunities, some fishing, some hiking, also a free lunch. So we're going to be providing free lunch that day. The idea is that you're able to show up to this event whenever you'd like. You can check in. We're going to provide a schedule so you can see what's going on, pick and choose what you want to come for, enjoy a day with your family out at camp, no strings attached. There is an RSVP. So if you are planning on coming, please let us know. Especially if you're planning on eating lunch with us, so we can just plan for food. The RSVP and the info site is at that website down there, and then you can also scan for more info. And that's also the website where we're going to continue to post more things. So as we get a schedule more refined and around and get all the planned activities refined, we're going to put those up on that web page. So keep watching that web page, and also watch your email to make sure that you're seeing all the stuff in there, because we'll email it out to you as well. So that's our open house event, and we're really excited for it. All right, now I'm going to turn it over to our camp director, Van Anderson, and our director of support services, Chuck Walker, to share a little bit about what's new at camp.
Thank you, Steve. My name is Chuck Walker. I'm the director of support service for the Erie Shores Council. And before I introduce you to Van Anderson, our camp director, I just wanted to echo the welcome to everyone. Thank you so much for choosing Camp Frontier and Pioneer Scout Reservation for summer camp. It's, in my opinion, the most important thing that we can do as scout leaders are to take our scouts to a summer camp, particularly a resident camp. I just There's no experience that equals that week of resident camp or a high adventure program or something of that kind. It's so important to scouts. It's so important to families. And we know it's so important to you as leaders. And again, as Ed said, thank you so much for your time that you invest in this. I just wanted to let you know that in my role as Director of Sports Service, I'm here to support the camp leadership team. And ultimately, I'm here to support you. So if any part in the process you have a challenge that comes up that you need someone else to speak to, or you just need a helping hand in any way, please let me know. I'm accessible and available via the different ways to get a hold of me. And so please feel free to reach out. I don't have every answer, but I'll find you the answer and follow up with you. So I'll make you that promise. The other thing I wanted to touch on briefly before I pass it over to Van is there's two things that you can really do to help us prepare for you to have a great time at camp. And one of those is staffing, and Van's going to talk about that. But camp staff is so important. It's so important to our scouts to have that experience. Again, there is nothing like being on a summer camp staff to help your scouts reach their fullest potential, for them to find out things about themselves that they never will experience in any other way. It's just a life-changing experience. And our staff come from you. They don't come from ads. They don't come from parachuting in. They really come from the scout troops and venture crews that come to camp. So anything that you can do to help us connect with your scouts that are of the age and talent to be on a camp staff, we would love that. The other thing that I would ask your help for is just telling the story of scouting. Your scouts and yourself are going to have such a great time at camp. And so often we keep a lot of those experiences to ourselves. And so I would ask that as you go through your summer camp experience, take pictures, collect thoughts from your kids, listen to them, write it down, record it, whatever you got to do. But when your week of camp, while you're at camp and while your week of camp ends, please share those experiences first with your parents that weren't at camp, so they know what their son experienced or daughter experienced at camp. And then two, share that with your friends and broader community. It is so important to scouting today that we share the positive message and the positive things that we do. We know that this is going to change scouts' lives, whether we see it while they're at camp or we see it in their scouting trail after camp. It is so important that we share that with others. So thank you so much. And Van Anderson, our camp director, please take it away.
Thank you, Chuck. I'm happy to be with you this evening. I want you to know that everybody involved in putting this camp together this summer is totally committed to making this the best scouting experience as far as summer camp goes that you will ever have. If you have any issues whatsoever, let us know. We will help you in any way we can. We want it to be a great, successful week of scouting for the unit leaders, the troops, and the scouts. So be with us. First thing I'm going to bring up is the what's new at camp. There's a whole list of things that are new at camp, and they're found on the first page of the Leader's Guidebook that you can download from the website. But some of the things that we're really proud of, because one or the other really, is attractive to some of us. The cash cards and care packages for camp, you've already had a chance to vote on what you might add to that, and they'll be covered a little more throughout the evening. The new campership program. It used to be a campership that was just available to Erie Shores Council troops, but now it's open to every troop that wants to bring the scouts to camp. So we have that. Those of you that were here last year, you were able to experience the final phase of construction on the new handicapped building or handicraft building and the training center. And it's a marvelous building. And this year, the showers in the building will be open for you. So that's a new thing that is going to be very popular this summer, I'm sure. We have the new early registration program for 2024 and the signups that go with that. And one of the things we're also working on is tethered balloon ride. So if you have any scouts in your troop, or even leaders in the troop that have ever wondered what the Earth looks like from the basket of a hot air balloon, you'll be able to do that. So those are the key things. A lot of them and more of them are found in the Leader's Guidebook. Now, for pre-camp information, as I mentioned, the three of us are going to be the ones you would deal with if you have any questions or need any help or support in any way. And that's Chuck that you've met, Steve, and myself. And page 8 is the complete listing of leadership, but in the planning stages and what's going to be happening in the next few months, one of the three of us will be able to deal with whatever questions you have. I want to echo again what Chuck said about staff. Now, when you have an older boy in your troop that has some leadership ability, please encourage them to apply for the staff. And I saw on the survey earlier, how do you apply for staff? Well, you go on the website and there's a little box that says staff, and you can fill out your application right there. Just click on the box and fill out your applications, and we'll be getting in touch with you real soon about having an interview. So that's how you do that. Now, when you work with one of your scouts, or even more than one, toward being on the staff, you're doing us a favor, because it allows us to go 100% toward providing the merit badges that we want to provide. And in the case of the more popular ones, they can be provided 2-3 times a week when we have enough staff to do that. So please help us out there. And the other person you're helping out is the individual scout that you have, because it gives them the opportunity to experience a work environment, to develop a resume, and to develop some work experience. So if they apply for jobs down the road, they have a reference, and if they do a good job for us, we'll certainly give them a good reference. So we're looking forward to having you at camp this year. It's going to be a great week. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Van. And yeah, I just want to echo that with Van too. Working on camp staff is a beautiful opportunity. That's how I started working here on camp staff many, many years ago. And if you have anybody who's in your troop that is interested in camp staff, a personal ask is amazing. But it's an awesome opportunity, a great growth opportunity. I highly recommend it. So enough talking about that. I do want to move on real quick to going through all the policies and all the new things with registration and all that stuff. So if you have a question specifically with registration, a question specifically with the Tenru registration website, that kind of stuff, feel free to email me those questions as they come up. I'd be happy to help you. I can also help you over the phone as well. We'll have contact information for all of us at the end of the presentation. Dates coming up for camp. So these are the week numbers that we got. We're still offering 7 weeks. I'm sure you're registered for one of them if you're tuned in tonight, I'm assuming. Do keep in mind that we do have a pre-camp meeting in Toledo at the Jadell Center, and they're on different days of the week, depending on what week you're coming out to camp. It's usually 2 weeks before your time at camp on a Tuesday night. It's an opportunity to turn in forms, an opportunity to also get anything else paid. We'll talk a little bit more about that later, but just keep in mind that you do have that opportunity to come in person and do that kind of stuff. Registration for merit badges. We've had merit badge registration. It's different per week. We've got a lot of comments of people who would like to see it moved up. So we're going to take some baby steps this year and listen to those comments and do that. So this year, we did move up our merit badge registration 1 week earlier than typical from our previous summers. So you have more time to work on prerequisites for merit badges. That does mean that it's opening earlier, so you need to be ready a little bit earlier too to put those badges in, especially if it's a hot ticket badge that goes quickly. So those registration dates are there. And then also the registration closes 1 day before your pre-camp leaders meeting. So that's your window of time to get in and do registration. We'll go through more information on registration later, and I'm going to have a training later on this month that'll have more details on that as well. This chart can be found on page 9 of the Leader's Guide. Camp fees. So these are the camp fees for this summer. These are the most up-to-date camp fees. I know that when we originally posted camp fees up back a year ago when we opened for 2023 reservations, they were different from these. They have been adjusted, and we sent out some notifications about that as well. But these are the fees that should be reflected in the main guide and online and on the website. So use these to calculate how much you owe for camp. That early bird deadline is going to be April 24th this year. So you can save $20 per scout and also get a free hat if you pay by the early bird deadline of April 24th, end of day. If you're doing mailed-in payments, we do accept postmark payments by April 24th. So if they come in later, that's fine as long as they're postmarked by the 24th. This is on page 12 of the leader's guide. We do offer a free leader discount that's automatically calculated. You get 1 free leader right off the bat, and then you get an additional free leader for every 10 scouts that you bring. This is based off the numbers that you put into your registration. So if you put in 11 scouts, you're going to get 2 free leaders. If you put in 20 scouts, you're going to get 3, and so on. So that automatically calculates. We do have online payment. You can do credit card or e-check. Credit card does have a 2.5% processing fee because that's what we pay to our credit card people. We do allow for free e-check though. So you can do e-check online and pay online with e-check for free. And we also have a new campership program this year. So the campership program is not necessarily new if you're in Erie Shores, but something that we've changed this year is we're now offering our campership program to everyone, including out-of-council units. This has been something that's been asked for many, many times over the years. So we now are able to offer funding for both in and out-of-council units. So if you have questions about that, please let me know. There's a campership link in the leader's guide that'll take you to the main page for online application. But those applications are usually due sometime in April. So if you have families that are in need of assistance, make sure you're putting those requests in sometime in the next month or two, so that way we can get those in and we can disperse if we're able to. So keep that in mind. All right, adult leadership at camp. So I get a lot of questions about this, so I just wanted to talk really quickly about this. All leaders coming out to camp must currently be certified with youth protection training. They also must have Michigan Central Registry clearance. Some of you may ask, why do I need that? Your camp is in Ohio. Well, it's also in Michigan. The line goes right through our camp, so it's not necessarily a council thing. It's the fact that we own property in Michigan, and Michigan has some laws to help protect youth. And one of them is that you get a background check through their child abuse registry. The check is absolutely free. It doesn't cost any money, but it does take time and it must be done annually for anybody 21 years of age or older who plans on attending camp for any time. So I recommend doing these earlier than later. There's a way to do this either by paper mail, fax, or by emailing the form into them, and then they send you the letter back saying that you're cleared. We want the letter back saying that you're cleared. We don't want your form applying for it. So do this early. I know sometimes it takes about a week or two to get it back. Some people say they've waited for a really long time. My recommendation is to do it again. And my recommendation is to do the email route. That seems to be the fastest route and usually has a turnaround of a couple of days. The mail and fax route seem to be taking longer. But you do need to have that if you plan on attending camp and you're 21 years of age or older. And then for all leaders staying over 72 hours, you have to also be a registered member of the PSA. So that's something that we're going to be requiring. We'll talk more about how you can provide paperwork on that and things like that, but just keep that in mind when you're planning your leaders for camp. Also with the health form for camp, which isn't on this slide, you need to have parts A, B, and C if you're staying over 72 hours. Under 72 hours, we still accept part A and B, but the C part needs to be there with the doctor's signature in date if you're staying over 72 hours at camp. Vehicle policy at camp. So if you do have some people who are coming out to camp who need some mobility assistance, we do not offer for you to drive vehicles back in camp. We don't have any personal vehicles back in camp from a safety and liability reason, but we do allow bicycles, electric scooters, and golf carts back in camp past the parking lot. We have golf carts available for rent at camp, but they are limited. I think we have about 4 or 5 carts to rent. You are also able to bring your own bicycle, electric scooter, or golf cart to apply to bring this or to apply for a rental. You can do that online through the link that's on the screen. And you can also find that on page 13, and that's only what's on the list. We don't allow personal vehicles, ATVs, or like the high-powered large gators or ORV type things or UTVs. So just the slow stuff back in camp. Dietary and food allergies. We do have a dietary and food allergies program. The link is here. The program is up. It's there. You can read through it. I would wait to put requests in on this program until I would say sometime around beginning of May, just because we may update that food list depending on what our suppliers are able to offer. So there's a list of foods that we have ingredients for and what you can do special requests for. We still plan on offering all the foods on the list, but we do substitute things occasionally from year to year if we're not able to find that product anymore. So my recommendation would be to look at it, understand it, but wait to put the request in until a couple of months later around May, when we start looking at the supplier stuff. And then also new this year, this is a really big change for us. This is something that we've never done before. We're changing our registration process for summer camp, and I think this is going to make things a little bit easier with the way that registration works right now. So traditionally, we had a date that we opened for out-of-council and in-council unit. So in-council was able to register on a certain date. Out-of-council was able to register on a certain date. We also had something called an Adopt a Campsite program, where you were able to give some service and register even earlier than that. This is replacing all of that. But there is still a way, troops who are in the Adopt a Campsite program, to continue to have your site, your week out at camp. We have not forgotten about you. We're actually making things easier. There's no longer a service project requirement, anything. Basically, what we're doing is we're giving any unit that came to us in the previous year an opportunity to sign up early for the same campsite, same week that next year. So if you're always coming out to camp and you're always in Kluwer week 1, you're able to still get Kluwer week 1 before anybody else. Same with any other week, any other campsite. Now, if you'd like to change your campsite or you'd like to change your week, you do have to wait for normal registration to open, and then you can request it that day to change up things. But if you want the same week number and the same campsite, we will honor that as long as you came the previous year. That registration to renew that is going to open on May 16th. There'll be a simple online form where all you do is put the request in, say you want to renew. We already know when you came last year. We know what week, we know what campsite, and we'll put the registration in for you and save it. So that way it's already booked. If you want to do normal registration, that opens on June 5th for everyone in and out of council. So if you're looking to get a different campsite, different week, didn't come last year, that registration for 2024 is coming up on June 5th, 2023. So keep that in mind. And then for provisional campers, we do offer an opportunity for scouts to come out to camp without their troops. So let's say your troop's not coming, but you want to still send your scout. You can do that. It's called a provisional camper registration. We'll pair them up with one of our host troops for the week. They'll be able to spend the time with the host troop just like their normal troop, come out to camp, take merit badges, enjoy their time, and have a great summer. Our registration for that is at the link there. We're accepting registrations now for that. If you have a specific troop that you've already worked out details with that you'll be staying with, let me know in an email, and I'll make sure that I take care of that registration. Otherwise, the default will be to pair them with one of our host units. If you have any questions about it, send me an email, let me know. I know I already have some free SPLs, which is a very similar program, come in the system, and we're going to start assigning those in the coming weeks. So that's the provisional program. Free SPL, very similar to provisional program, but this is an opportunity. So let's say an SPL comes out with their troop to camp, and they spend time with their troop out at camp running their troop. I know that takes a lot of effort depending on how your troop's set up. So we offer SPLs to come out for an additional week and just spend time with a host troop taking badges and not having to worry about being an SPL. Now there is one requirement of this, and that's that they don't take merit badges when they're here with their home troop. So they come out with the home troop, they run the troop, they do that kind of stuff, and then they come out for an additional week either before or after as a free SPL, take a full listing of merit badges and just relax. That doesn't mean they can't do anything at camp. It just means that they don't take merit badges. So they can still participate in all the activities, open area activities, everything else that's going on at camp, just not the merit badge schedule during the normal day. Registration for that is there. It's free. We'll waive the fee on those. Provisional is just at Plan A price for in or out of council, depending on what you are. We do need some provisional host troops, though, to run that program. Every year I put an ask out looking for provisional host troops. We're looking for troops that are Plan A or B meal plan, so that way we don't have to worry about the food situation. and then paying the troop for food or anything like that. The food's already provided. But we need at least one male and one female troop per week of camp, and we will give $100 credit to any troop that has at least one scout paired with them. So if we don't have anybody come that week and you don't get any paired, you don't get your $100. But if you get at least one scout paired with you as a host troop, we will give that $100 credit back to your troop towards your fees. So keep that in mind. If you're interested in that, please just shoot me an email. I'll be checking my email tomorrow, so you can send it to me right now. And I'm just going to start a roster. If more than one troop of each gender volunteers per week, I start with the first one that volunteered, and then I move on to the next if we run out of space. I usually try and pair around 2 to 3 tops per troop as far as provisionals or SPLs would go. So just keep that in mind. Early bird hat. So everybody who registers by the early bird deadline gets a free early bird hat. That includes leaders and scouts. You have the option to personalize those with your troop number and hometown on the back for an additional $6 per hat. And those orders are due the same time as early bird on April 24th. You can do that online. There's also a paper form available in the leader's guide. They just need to be in and paid for by that time. If you have scouts who did not qualify for early bird, they paid after, or you know they're going to be paying after, and you want to order additional personalized hats at that time, you can do that as well in the form. So let's say you got a couple scouts that you know are still coming, but they haven't paid yet. You could order at that time. But if you want them personalized, you need to order them by April 24th. We will have blank regular hats for sale in the trading post as well for $12 each. So if you just want the hat and you didn't get the early bird one, you can always purchase one in the trading post. We'll have plenty of those in the trading post throughout the summer. Same thing with pre-sale t-shirts. So we have the opportunity to, one, buy t-shirts ahead of time and have them ready to go for you before camp starts. We'll deliver them at your pre-camp leaders meeting, or we'll deliver those to you when you check in for camp if you don't come to the meeting. So you can pre-order them, and they are at a discounted rate of less $2 per shirt. So you save $2 per shirt if you order them early. You can also choose to spend an extra, I think it's $5 or $6, and personalize those and personalize the sleeve. Or you can just buy standard ones early at the discounted rate. But both of those orders, if you're planning on doing those, are also due by April 24th. So keep that in mind when you're getting ready for camp. If anybody wants those, get those orders in early. And then new this year, we've got some new stuff going on in the trading post this year at camp, and we're really excited about it. So one thing that you may have heard me talk about a little bit earlier when we first started this presentation is we're planning on doing some care packages for camp. The idea being that we'll have, I think, maybe those drawstring backpacks and lots of cool goodies inside. And the idea would be that you can log on online, parents, scouts, anybody from home, and you can send your scout a care package to be delivered to them at flags. Pretty cool, right? We recommend, and what we're going to be doing is hoping to get a lot of these as pre-orders, so that way we can have a little bit more time to prepare. But we're also planning on offering this service live at camp as well. So let's say if you wanted to get online on Tuesday when your scout's at camp, we could probably get something to them. We're looking at about a 24-hour turnaround max to get them something out. So we may be able to get them something by Wednesday at flags. So it'll be delivered to them just like all normal mail and packages will be. It's just, you can just order it. We take care of the rest. You don't have to box it up. You don't have to pay postage. We just deliver it to them at flags with their name on it, and they get a fun treat at camp. So we're going to be putting those together and selling those online. We have some information on our sales page right now, but we don't have the actual sale up yet. We'll be emailing you with more information as we get that when they're available to purchase. Another thing that we're adding to camp this year is camp cash cards. So think of it like a gift card. These will be able to be ordered before camp if you want to. If you do order before camp, we're going to be delivering them in bulk to your unit leaders to pass out to your scouts. So if parents want to go online, purchase a gift card or a cash card for their scout at camp to be used at the trading post, they can do that. It will have the scout's name and troop number written on it. But let me tell you, if they lose it, they still lose it. What's nice though is I cannot tell you how many times I have $20 bills turned into me all the time and nobody ever comes to claim them. Now, if somebody turns in a cash card, I have a scout's name and a troop number. I can look it up instantly and we can get it back to that scout so they can continue to use the card throughout the rest of the week. So the technology that we're using here allows us to start the card up, and then if we do find the card, get it back to them. Now, if they do lose the card though, there's nothing we can do to reimburse them for the money. But it's the same with cash. If they lose their cash, we can't reimburse that either. So at least there's a troop name and number on this, and a troop number and a scout name on it, so we can return it to the owner. So we'll sell those online. We're also planning on offering these midweek too. So if you want to be able to have one delivered out to your scout midweek because you forgot or want to do something special, we're going to do that as well. It's just keep in mind that during the week, there may be a day turnaround time. So don't order it on Friday. And we'll have all that information as we get more stuff planned out for the camp sessions. I do want to give, I'm going to go through the Q&A and type in anything that's in there. We'll go through any questions that were asked through my presentation at the end. But I do want to turn it over to Beth now, so she has an opportunity to talk a little bit about open area stuff and also the program that we're doing this summer. So go ahead, Beth.
Hello. Also super excited that water bottles are going to be part of the care package ideas. So, hydrate campers and all that fun stuff. One thing that I want to talk about is on page 25 of the Leader's Guide, which I would highly recommend printing out a couple of copies of that and putting it on your, posting it around your campsite. So in case if a scout or even adult leader says, I'm bored at camp, you can send them to that page, because it shows we have activities at camp from 6 a.m. all the way to 11 p.m. at night. So really no scout or adult leader should ever say they're bored at camp, because we have such a wide variety of activities at camp. And one of the cool things about open area activities is that it gives scouts who may not be taking a merit badge in that area an opportunity to explore the area and kind of get a sense of what it's all about. So maybe in the future, they might want to take a merit badge or just learn a new skill during open area. And so that is also on page 25, and it kind of goes through, it's broken down by the different areas and also the different times as well. So, and then on page 26 of the Leader's Guide, it talks about the merit badges. Now on page 26, they're organized by time and by area. It's a really neat chart. It might definitely comes in handy if you have scouts who are looking to fill a time slot for different merit badges. And then on page 27 and 28 of the Leader's Guide, they are organized by area and also prerequisites. Some of the prerequisites you can do like the weekend before camp, and others they require some time. So definitely take a look at that even now while your scouts are thinking about what merit badges to take. But the prerequisites are posted on page 27 and 28 of the Leader's Guide. And then we also have on page 30, we have the different outposts that are offered. As you can see on the screen, we have cycling and golf and wilderness survival and aviation and ATV and camping and canoeing and fire safety and fishing. There is an opportunity for adult leaders to help out with those outposts. I know to cover YPT and also for just an extra set of hands. We are always looking for adult leaders. So I know that they'll be looking for signups or you would sign up for at the outposts at Frontier headquarters. Then also during the adult leader meetings and SPL meetings, we'll be talking about looking for adults to attend those outposts. But we also have, like, the outposts are a great opportunity to kind of learn, like help them get some more hands-on opportunities and hands-on skills that they would be learning at their merit badges. Some of those, they all are signed up. You can sign up for them at the Frontier headquarters, but there's also certain specific times that they that they're going to get pulled. So that way, you know the numbers, and also some of them do have limited numbers to make sure that you are checking on that. So that way everybody has the opportunity to have a chance to participate in those outposts. And another thing that I want to talk about is the Arrow of Light Camp, which for me, that was my first taste of camp at PSR, was helping out with the Arrow of Light Camp. And I started one summer and I've been here since then. But the Arrow of Light Camp is a great opportunity for Arrow lighters to kind of get a taste of PSR. We really try to, they do work on adventures at camp. I know that they've done the Aquanaut and Into the Woods, and I think they have an opportunity to do like a handicrafts project, but they also gives them a time to see what it's like to be like a scout at PSR. So they will do a root beer cantina or an opening or closing campfire, but it is a 3-day. They come in on Sunday and they leave on Wednesday, or then the next group comes in on Wednesday afternoon and stays until Saturday. So they definitely get to see what camp has to offer at camp. The registration for that opens today. And I think Steve said that we do already have some packs signed up for that. So you can look at our QR code for that, or you can also check on the website that's posted there for more information. But we're really excited for you guys to come out to camp and be at camp this summer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beth. And we are really excited. And yes, I've seen some registrations come in today right after opening for the Arrow of Light resident camp. So if you're interested, or you're also part of a pack and you're interested in sending out some of your AOLs to this, do it early. Sessions look like they're going to fill up pretty quick this year. So just check that out. I do want to talk really quick about another opportunity that I have coming up, which is a registration training session. So on March 29th at 7 p.m. on Zoom, I'm going to have a Zoom meeting style. So it'll be not like this webinar style, just a regular Zoom meeting where I will go through all the registration stuff. So I'll walk you through the process of building your roster, editing your contacts, signing up for merit badges, looking at your reports, paying for things, checking your invoices, all that good stuff that's with that system. So that way you have a way to see it before it opens up on your day for registration. If you're not able to make it, I'm going to record that one as well, just like we're recording tonight. And I will always send out a video link, usually around the next day, and we'll post it up on our YouTube page. We'll also stream it on live as well, on Facebook Live, which is what we're streaming tonight as well. So just keep that in mind. You can register by going to that link, or if you go to our normal website, I can show you where that registration is too. I'm going to give a website tour. That's most of our presentation stuff tonight. I am going to give a brief tour of the website tonight as well, just so you know where to find all the good stuff. But I do want to take a quick moment and just fire away, quick fire at some of these questions that I've got in the box. And it's a lot easier for me to just answer them out loud than to sit here typing all night, since I'm also pushing the button to run the show. So while you guys are looking at that registration training and signing up for that, here's some questions that I've got in the box right now. So one of them is, we're out of council, any way to import our roster into the Tenru or PSR roster? Unfortunately, no, we don't have any way to import. You do have to put those in by hand if you're out of council. We do import our in-council one through the system, but we send them a bulk list after recharter to update it. I will go through some information on making that quicker in my training. So feel free to attend that if you want to, and I can give you some tips and tricks on that. One thing that I did want to talk about though is we do have and it's not even in the system yet, it's starting next week. They're redoing the system and we're going to have a scout book output. So you're going to now be able to spit out a report from Tenru and directly import it into Scoutbook, so you do not have to type in all your merit badge information anymore. You'll be able to just import it right in based on your summer records, and it just goes right into Scoutbook. So that is coming. I'm actually attending a training session on that next week on how all that works. So I'm really excited that we're going to be able to offer that this summer. So there's one import export that's going to be great this summer and something to look forward to, I think, for a lot of troops who've been waiting for it. Another one, we're not able to attend our pre-camp leaders meeting. Can we attend an earlier session? Yes, you can. Be sure to talk with the business manager before that time. We get our business manager usually on site around mid-May. So send an email sometime after mid-May to our business manager, letting them know that you're not able to attend that week, but you'd like to attend an earlier week, just to make sure that they have all your information and everything ready to go, so you can check in and they can see your stuff. Because we usually pull a week at a time to take all that info to the meeting, so we'll have it ready early. But yes, if you do want to attend early, that's fine. You also can send your forms in ahead of time, and we'll get you more information on that. Just reach out to myself or the business manager, and we can talk about that. Answered that one. What time of day do you expect merit badge registration to open? It opens at 4 p.m. on the date. Normally it opens on a Sunday unless it's on a holiday weekend. 2 holiday weekends that we avoid, so we push it over to either the Monday or the Tuesday, or Mother's Day weekend, and Memorial Day weekend. So if it's Mother's Day, it's going to be on the Monday. If it's Memorial Day, it's going to be on the Tuesday at 4 p.m. Otherwise, it's going to be on a Sunday to give you time to do it on the weekend. Can scouts bring bicycles? We do not allow scouts to bring their own personal bicycles to camp. If you do need a bicycle for mobility assistance, you can apply to bring one. Bad knee, whatever it may be. We do have a very nice fleet of bicycles at camp and offer a bicycling class and open area bicycling. And they're nice premium mountain bikes. So if you're interested in biking around camp with a group, we do have opportunities to do that, but we don't allow scouts to bring their own. We can have up to 600 to 700 people on property at a time, and if everyone brings a bike, that's a lot of bikes. So we don't allow that one. If we're in a different campsite this year than normal, but the same week, can we register with our normal site? So the way that this is working, it's the site and the week. They have to both match if you want to do the early registration. My recommendation is to get on right when registration opens normally, and then get that site and week that you normally get, so that way you can lock it in for the future. I don't want to say this, but I typically don't have a whole lot of units that register on the first day. We have a handful, maybe like 10 or 20 out of the 160 to 170 units that come to camp register that first week. So the earlier you register, the better, and the chance of that being open, the better. So just keep that in mind. Deadline to enroll free SPL. There's not necessarily a deadline, but let us know. Try and let us know sometime by the end of May, just so we can make sure that we pair you with your troop. And now if they're looking to come at the end of the summer, like in July, try and let us know sometime in June. Try and look a month out, just so we can let the host unit know that they're going to have an additional scout. But other than that, there's really not a whole lot of other stuff. I will say that it is probably better to register them earlier than later, because the second you do the registration, that's when you get an account to register for badges. So if you try and become a free SPL the week before that week starts, you may have a more limited selection of merit badges. So earlier the better on merit badge selection. What does the hat look like? So the hat is on the website. It's on the order form on the web online. I will try and remember to take you to that during the website tour real quick. Shirt order on page J on Leader's Guide. It might be that the page number was off, but the one in the Leader's Guide, it's at the very back. It's the two last pages in the guide. Page J is the t-shirt order, and page I is the early bird hat order. That's what I have in my guide that I'm looking at right now that I just printed. So that's where you'd find those. You can also do the online order. What happens to leftover cash money on the camp? So they're not going to expire. They will expire eventually. We need to look and see what that date is, but it's going to be like years. I think Ohio goes with the national law of like 5 years or something. So we're going to keep the money on the card. We're not going to let it go out. So if they get a card this year and there's still money on it, they can use it next year if they want to, and that'll be fine. Or, most people are probably going to use up the card and then just cover their last purchase with a little extra cash, whatever the difference is, but it will stay on the card. There's also a way to check your balance by putting the code in the back of the card, so you can see if any money's left on it. What's in the care package? We're still in the process of deciding that. We'll put some more information on the website once we have the full listing, but we're looking at snacks, water bottles, maybe some toys and games, things like that. And we're going to go with the most popular answers from tonight, as well as some of the most popular answers from our key staff as well. So probably in the next month or so, we're going to start getting those things ordered, and we'll have a photo on our website of what the care package looks like, so you can take a look. Is there a parent portal available for parents to register? No. So the account is just for your troop. It's a troop account, not a parent account. So you'll have one person, one point of contact for your troop, who is able to log in and do the registration for your troop. You can share your username and password with another person. So for example, if you're not the person who normally does summer camp and you want to share your username and password with the person who does, fine. Don't have more than one person log in at the same time. You'll be very upset. It will just continue to cancel out the other person's actions. So you can only have one person logged in at a time. So don't try that. It'll just cancel out that cart you built, and you'll be very frustrated. We talked about the cash cards. Cash card orders are not available yet, but they will be. We'll send the link out, and I'm going to show people how to update their online accounts in our registration training, so you can have more people get those emails when we send out information about camp. If you're a host troop, that puts you over a certain number of scouts, do you get a free adult? No, we do not offer free adults that put you over for that many. We do offer $100 one-time offer to be a host troop, though. The trailers, we'll bring back as many trailers as you guys bring to us. We do take the trailer back for you, so you'll bring it in to a lot in the front of camp. We'll have you unhitch it right there. It's straight pull-in. We'll pull it back to the campsite for you, get it in that perfect spot, and then we'll pull it back up to that same lot to pick up when you guys leave on Saturday. So we'll be back in the campsite for you, but our talented team of ranger staff and volunteers take them back to the sites for you, just so we can control vehicle traffic during check-in and check-out. So for example, archery merit badge 9 a.m., would that be every day? Yes. So our merit badges are scheduled to happen at the same time, Monday through Friday. We have the opportunity to sign up for 5 merit badges, a 9, a 10, and an 11, and then a 2 and a 3 o'clock slot. And then there are a couple merit badges that only happen on certain days, like special ones like aviation that happens on Thursdays. We'll have more info about that, but 99% of the merit badges, they're scheduled at the time and they happen 5 days a week. We just talked about that. Leaders able to bring their own bikes to camp. The only bikes that we allow in camp are for people who apply for camp bicycles because they need it for mobility. So put in a request for that if that helps you get around. Camper ships. They're due by April 15th. How soon will they know? My goal is to get the camper ships in by April 15th and then get all the money information dispersed back out within a week to a week and a half. So that way it's in the account ready to go before the April deadline of early bird. If you get approved for a camper ship after application, after that April 15th deadline, when the deciding happens, it'll automatically get applied to your account in Tenaroo. So you'll see the scout's name show up with a discount. So you don't have to put that in manually. It happens there, and then it just takes it right off your bill. If you already paid for the entire amount for them for camp because you wanted to get the early bird, and then they do get a camper ship, it'll just take that amount off your total bill. And if you have a credit at the end of the year, we'll cut that back in a check. So the money will come back to you one way or another if you do get awarded one. All right. Will there be a parents' night this year? No, we will not be offering a parents' night this year. We are offering some care packages though, so parents can have some great interactions with their scout by sending them some cool stuff out at camp. If you registered for 2023, how do I know which site I ended up with? If you log in, you can click on your registration, and if you scroll down a little bit, you'll see your campsite listed right below your fee summary. So that should be where it's at. Attend my registration training, and I can show you where that's at as well, or just email me your troop number and I can send you an email and let you know just to confirm if you want to do it that way too. Can the card be used at the scout shop? No, the card can only be used at Pioneer Scout Reservation through our registers, but it can be used over the course of multiple years. What's the stance on scouts having cell phones? Last camp where they were discouraged, but then all kinds of QR codes. So I have as a camp staff member, I have a personal idea on cell phones. I think they're great at camp. I think they offer an opportunity for parents to get to see some cool stuff that's going on at camp. I think it also offers them an opportunity to do some more tech things. Cell phones are here, they're not going away. And I don't think that, that they're gonna go away anytime soon. So, you know, I don't tell troops to tell their kids to not bring cell phones, but ultimately, you know, we are trying to offer a program that's for every troop. So we leave that up to your unit. You know, if your unit wants to not have cell phones at camp, that's fine, and that's totally okay. If your unit likes doing the phone thing, great. We have a lot of QR codes on the meeting tonight, but I don't think we're going to have any QR. They're not going to be required for any program out at camp. But I do think they're a great communication tool to share scouting to other people. And then the last question I have in here right now, do we choose how many wall tents we need, or is there a set amount to begin with? So that depends on what type of campsite you're in. If you're in a platform site, you're going to have tents already set up, and it's going to be a finite amount. Normally, traditionally, most platform sites have 16 platforms for a total of 32 people. There are a few that have a few less and a few more. When you see your campsite listed online, it will have parentheses after it with platforms and a number. If it doesn't have that, it's not a platform site. But if it does, it'll tell you how many platforms are in the site, and each one of those platforms has 2 beds. So multiply that by 2 to get your total number that it'll sleep. You can request additional tents that they'll be set up without platforms, with ropes or ridge pole and stakes. So if you do plan to use them that way, we recommend bringing a ground cloth or a tarp to put down. We do have cots available though. There is opportunity to request other equipment also through camp. I'll talk a lot about that in my registration training. So if you watch that, you can see all the information we have there. When do we find out what campsite you have? If you registered online, we make those assignments usually right after. You always get your first choice, and if you didn't get your first choice, we email you and let you know. So you should have the first choice if you did an online registration and pick 3 choices. If you need to confirm which campsite you're in, just go online again and take a look, or send me an email with your troop number and week, and I can take a look for you and let you know. All right, that's all I have in the questions box right now. Let me clear these out really quick. And then I will take a look at the website real fast and show you guys around there, and then we can do any more questions you have and call it a night. So we're going to take a look at the website, and I just want to show you real quick what we got going on. So this is psrweb.org. That's our web page. So that's where you're going to go for registration. It's also where you're going to go for information about summer camp. So first thing I want to show you, Leaders Guide. Anything summer camp related is right under the summer camp tab. So if you click on the Leaders and Parents Guide, you can download the latest copy right here. As we edit the Leaders Guide, so if we have any changes that come up between now and when summer camp starts, we'll list the changes and we'll list what they were and when they happened, so you can always know what the latest edition is and what the changes were. To find which edition you're using, always go to the bottom of the page and look, and you can see when it was last revised. If the last revised date is later, changes have probably happened. If you want to find those changes, just go back to that site and you'll see them listed here. We haven't had any yet, but if we do have them, they'll be listed there. So there's the Leaders Guide. You can also see the fees and the meal plans listed here for 2023 and all the information if you just want a quick look at that. And that's also under the summer camp tab. Forms, that one's really important. So if we click on the summer camp tab again and go to camp forms and links, here we have a list of basically any form you'd ever need for camp. A lot of people are looking at this list and it's a little intimidating. So we created a button last year, summer camp required forms. These are the ones that everybody needs. So if you click here, it gives you a quick link to the forms that all the youth need, the forms that a leader needs, 72 hours or less, or 72 hours or more. So those are all right here. And there's also the Michigan Central Registry, and that's there as well. So there's a quick way to get the required forms for summer camp. There's also some more additional information on this page. All those back pages in the Leaders Guide are listed here if you want a digital version of those. The registry clearance, provisional camper registration forms here for SPL week registration. Those are all online forms that you put the information in and send it to us. The hat and t-shirt. Somebody asked about what the hats look like. Here you go. So hats this year are looking like this. It's the year of the beaver, and we're really excited about the hats this year. Red and tan. So mobility assistance, we talked about that. Campership program, we talked about that. I've also recorded some registration help videos. If you need help with your registration, you can watch a YouTube video while I walk you through it step by step on screen. Program forms and links, those are down here. We have some permission slips if you need some of those for ATV or aviation. And then also that allergy program. Menus right now are last year's. Those are going to be updated over the next month or so when we talk with our suppliers and figure out what food we have to offer. So that's all there. We talked about the camper ships. Another thing that I wanted to draw your eyes to is the promotional materials. So if you're planning on having a troop promotional night for summer camp and you want to get people excited, you can get links to our promotional videos here on YouTube, the Leaders Guide, Facebook page. We also always welcome people to come out to camp and visit. I'm here Monday through Friday, and I can also be scheduled to do stuff on Saturdays and Sundays. So if you want to come out and do a camp tour to see camp beforehand, please let me know. I'd be happy to set up a time with you to meet and spend tons of time with you walking around camp, checking everything out. We have a Frontier Adventures newsletter, which is a great opportunity as well. And then something that I started either last year or the year before was an opportunity to get some past camp hats, patches, things like that. Got a lot of stuff sitting in the closet from past years. And if you want some cool goodies to pass out to your prospective new people coming to summer camp, just fill out the link here. We'll mail it to you for free, and you'll have some cool stuff to pass out at a troop meeting. So I have a lot of troops that do that, and it's a great opportunity for that as well. We talked about 2024 registration. Register for camp is that first one down. That new 2024 registration process is right here, and you can click here for a renewal. Now, see how it's not here yet? May 16th is when this one's opening, but this is where you'll put that renewal application in, and there's more information about that right here too. So if you're looking to do a renewal of same week, same site, that's where you'd go next this coming year to do it. Arrow of Light Camp, all the information is here that we talked about. So if you're interested in that, it's on the tab over. And then the camp staff link has the online application and the summer job board. So this is where you would apply online if you're interested in working on camp staff. And then that job board is a listing that we update every now and then, letting you know what holes we still have to fill for summer camp. So if there's a specific position or area that you'd like to work in, you can see if that's available. And usually we put the updated down here at the bottom, but I think it's been updated since then. So we need to get that one fixed too, but this is where you can take a look and see. Talked about that. We talked about that. One last thing that I did want to talk about as far as the website goes, upcoming events, they're always down here on the main page. So you can see that online registration training is right there, and you can sign up for that. Our open house events right here. So it's a great opportunity to see all that information. There's a link to our Facebook page down here too, and also the rest of our social media outlets if you need to find those. One thing that's going to be changing with your troop account in Tenaroo is we finally have the opportunity, they built in the delimitation between a boys troop and a girls troop. So there's now a drop down arrow where you can select whether you're a boys or a girls unit. We've done that already for all the units that are coming to camp that we know already the gender, but we may have some new units that we don't know yet. So we'll go over how to eliminate that. But when you log into your account, if you see a G or a B after it, that is just showing whether it's a boys or a girls troop. It's still the same troop no matter what. The number's still the same. Everything's right in the system. It's just now we have that delimitation. So when you see that, I just didn't want you to be alarmed that you saw it there. If you only have a boys troop, it's still going to have B there. That just lets us know in registration what's coming to camp. It helps us know so we can better plan. Other than that, I do want to put up the contact information one more time, just in case you missed it at the beginning. I am going to look through the questions again and see if we have any new questions. But at this point in time, if you have any other questions, put them in the Q&A box right now, and we'll take a look at them. If you have detailed questions that require more talking, feel free to give us a call. Feel free to email us, and that way we can talk with you a little bit more in detail about those things and get you sorted out there too. I have one question I see in the Q&A right now. Can a CIT start mid-July? Yes, absolutely. CITs or counselors in training, they can start anytime, and usually they serve for 1 week out at camp with the opportunity to come back for additional weeks, assuming we have the space and they did well. Usually if they apply to be a CIT early on, we will also invite them out to our staff training weekend and staff training and setup week if they want to come out and train with the staff and help set up. But then they would also pick an additional week of camp during the summer that they would work and go around to different areas. They don't have to do that though. If for some reason in July you decided you want to be a CIT, yes, please just contact us and we'll get you set up for a week. We have people who come out to camp as a camper and say, I want to come back next week as a CIT, and we say, sure, as long as there's room. So not a problem. Any other questions in the Q&A? Oh, I got a couple more. Is there a link to the camp map? Yes, there is. Actually, let me go back to the website Let me show you. So if you go to resources and go to maps, directions, and distances, the one you want is the PSR main camp map. And that's going to give you a great map for camp. Another great resource on this page are these distance sheets, which can show you how far away program areas are to your campsite in miles to give you an idea of your walking distance, and also program area to program area. Kind of cool. We had a volunteer map all this out for us. So if you're interested in nerdy and want to know the distance, pretty much everything's under a mile and a lot of it's a lot less. Let's see. Missed the answer on Parents Night. So we will not be offering a Parents Night this year, but we will be offering care packages that you can send from home and be delivered to flags. The Merit Badge sign-up video is down. You're correct. I just noticed this the other day, and he's talking about the help videos online. For some reason, it got flagged as inappropriate content on YouTube. I guess they don't like me talking about merit badges, and it will not let me put it. It will not let me fix it, so I have to find the old file and re-upload it. But I'll be doing that shortly, so I will get that refreshed for you. Can Cash Bar card be used at Root Beer Cantina? In a way. So we will not be accepting cash cards at the Root Beer Cantina, but if you want to purchase tokens ahead of time, either at the trading post or the business office, we can run it on the register there and you can use it to buy tokens. And tokens are the way to go, guys. It's basically just prepaying like for a ticket for Root Beer Cantina. So you can go right up to the Fast Pass, drop your token in and grab your root beer. So you're not worrying about change and cash and everything down there. So if you want to use it for Root Beer Cantina, just buy it ahead of time. Does camp have bags of ice available? Absolutely. We have ice available at our trading post and also at our quartermaster. We stock it in bags, residential style bags, and it's free. You can come and grab as much as you want. So you can come and get it whenever. You don't have to talk to anybody. It just sits outside and you go and grab a bag. Are we able to add our scouts in prior to May 15th? Yes. So I'm guessing you're talking about merit badge registration. So yes, you can build your roster ahead of time, and that is the way to go. I'll talk about that during my registration training. You cannot add badges, but you really want to have that roster ready to go. So that way you can just select the names and start putting badges to them. And you're not sitting there typing names in and date of births and all that other stuff. So I'll show you more information on that at the training. And if you miss it, I'm going to also record it. If you miss all that, send me an email, give me a call. I can talk you through it as well. Where would we find what campsite we were using on the website? Let me take a look real quick and show you guys that. So I do need to get logged into that. My screen's going to look a little bit different because I'm an admin, so I have a little bit different setup, but I can show you how it would look on your end. So if I look at, for example, we're going to use this one as an example, Troop 31. We'll give a shout out to you tonight. So their home screen, when you log in, your home screen is going to look like someone like this, and your troop will be up here in the corner. Your week of summer camp will be the first thing you see probably as an event. When you click on it, you can take a look at it here. And if you scroll down, your campsite's listed right here below your spot. So they're in Bowie Campsite. So that's where you'd find that online. I will talk more about all this at that training. I'm just not going to go into a ton of details on this one just because there's a lot to talk about there. So that's where you'd find it. What can the recorded session of this, when can it be seen? Well, we're currently streaming right now live on our Facebook page, so it's available right now. And you can continue to watch that video for eternity. It's always going to be up there. We're also going to put it up on our YouTube page, probably sometime tomorrow, as long as I get it edited and trimmed down. So I'll get it up there tomorrow, and I'll use the system to send out a link so everyone is aware of it. All right, looks like I got all the questions that I can see in the Q&A box answered verbally. I will wait a little bit longer to see if anybody else throws a question in the Q&A box. But if that's it for tonight, thank you so much for coming out. We really appreciated you spending an hour and 12 minutes with us tonight. And we're so excited for summer camp this year. We cannot wait. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself, Van, Beth, or Chuck, so we can take care of you, help you, get you set up for summer camp. We'll be sending out email communications. That's our favorite way to communicate with you. So check your email, and I'll also be showing you some ways to add additional people on that email list. So that way more people in your troop can get the situation there. Also, if you're interested in how to do that right now, if you go to our forms and links again here on the website, and you go to the registration help videos, updating your account information, that's going to be the one you're going to want to watch, and that'll show you how to do that. So if you want to do it now, you can do it there. All right. I will wait a few more minutes, but that's all we have for you tonight, guys. Thanks so much for coming out. And I will just sit here for a couple more minutes and see if I have any more questions come in the Q&A box. Maybe 30 more seconds. We'll see. I've not seen any though. Van, Beth, Chuck, anything else you guys wanted to add that I didn't talk about tonight? All right. Well, it looks like we're good with questions for tonight, guys. So thanks so much. I see people logging off now. We'll see you out at summer camp this